thanks again, Amanda, for agreeing to join this podcast. Where I am developing this big passion on relationship management, parenting, and the overall pursuit of happiness. We met 1 year back.
Yeah.
In this very same place,
Yes.
where I think we did a video interview with Jameen, and it was actually quite a success. The students love it, and it was from there that I realized that you shared that you also have three wonderful young
sons.
boys. Yeah.
Right. They are 20, 18, and 15.
Yeah, and at that point, I was immediately struck by how you were able to balance being a successful entrepreneur you are. And I've seen all the awards, Young Entrepreneur, had huge influence on the industry as long as together with your gemology, right? Gemologist certificates. Yeah. So how?
No, I see we're all survivals, right? We're all learning. We're all trying to cope.
So tell me a little bit about how you started and what made you also decide that having children were an active part of your growth and doing it together with you growing your business. Yeah. So
Thank you so much, Benny. I think really it was very impressive work that we did last year. And to receive your invitation this year, I said I will go for it because I know how deep you can go, and I really believe in what you are doing.
Thank you.
I often tell myself and I tell my close friends that children, they are my life purpose. They are the entire motivation of who I am today. So I must share a little bit about my growing up.
Yes, please.
My growing up is one that my parents were very busy
Okay.
because they were trying to do their best. So they had retail shops, where my father would handle a shop and my mom would be in another shop. So they work from 10 to 10, Monday to Sunday.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't really get to see them, right? And when I became a parent, what I wanted was I really want to be a hands-on mom, right? So the only choice that I had back then was I wanted to do my own business so that my time is a bit more flexible.
Oh, so it was with that in mind. Okay.
Yeah, but what I didn't expect is that is a
It's actually
dream
no,
that
right?
you can have, right? Because you have no longer annual leave, parent
Yeah,
leave.
actually you end up working harder.
You have no MC at all.
Yes.
And when profit and loss is always the biggest concern in your mind, how can you actually be taking your mind off work?
Yes.
So I don't think you can balance work life, but you integrate your work life as
Integrating
an
work life.
entrepreneur. So for example, I used to carry my babies while selling diamonds.
Wow.
Right. And as long as you are sincere, you are honest, I had customers who helped me to carry my baby when I'm serving other customers.
Wow.
I have customers who bought me lunch and say, Amanda, I noticed that you haven't eaten and this is your lunch. Everyone please wait for a while, let Amanda eat.
Wow.
So this is integration, isn't it? And just now you thought my staff of my son.
Yes. Almost
but-
the same age.
Yeah, true. But of course my son is like your ordinary 20-year-old. The eldest one is in NS, the second one is doing A-levels this year, the youngest one is in school now.
2018, 15. Yep.
Yes, correct. And I make them come to work here during holiday.
Yeah, I think the last year, I think one of them was in the store
Oh,
when we did. Yeah.
So during holidays they come and I put them in the production team, I put them into customers team and marketing team where they really work under my staff, where they had to talk to craftsmen, they have to send jewelry to the shipment, the logistic, they have to do the engraving. So they learn. So that's what I meant by integration. Right.
Okay.
And I learned a few things as well that, sometimes I don't want to sugarcoat life for them. I want to tell them how hard I work. I want to tell them how concerned I am with profit and loss. When they were young, my youngest son, he was very hungry one day. We were in a restaurant and we finished our food. My son asked me, Mommy, I'm still hungry. Do we have enough money for another packet of fries?
Wow. Okay.
Now that hurts me because I told him too much about the profit profit and
okay,
loss
okay.
and all that. But
How old was he around that time?
maybe 7-8 years old.
7, 8 years old.
Yeah, but I'm glad that he has the money value in his mind.
Yes.
And then he said, okay, the fries here is very expensive. Why don't we just go to the fast food and then we could have this fries? So I'm glad that they have gone through my life with me, and so that I show them what it takes to be a responsible parent and what it takes to form the foundation of your career. Right? It's not easy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was there another caretaker that was helping you? You mentioned that you were carrying your baby while you were selling diamonds.
Of course I have helpers, right? Singaporeans, we have helpers, right?
Yes.
But babies want helpers. Baby, when the moment they see the mom, they want the mom.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
my eldest was 20 and 18 and a half. So actually they were only 1.5 year old
okay.
gap.
About the same as my
I
first two.
carried two. You know, because when Gege sees that Didi is
Yes,
being
yes.
carried, Gege
Yes,
would
I
say,
want as well.
I want
yes.
as well. So yeah, so you know, 15 years ago you will see me having 3 selling diamonds at the same time, and you need to look sharp. You need to look professional. You need to be able to verbalize what you want to educate your customers. I'm selling diamonds, and our business model is one that's very academic. So I compare diamonds, I discuss about sparkle, I discuss about pricing, I discuss about which one is more value for money for my clients. So you need to be very sharp, you need to make the right decision. What kind of design suits what kind of finger, what kind of personality, what kind of budget. You need to be thinking on the spot with 3 crying children wanting mommy at the same time. So, but you know, looking back, those were my best moments. Those were my most challenging moments, but those were my best moments.
And I think if I'm a customer and then I see that you're working so hard and yet with crying children and yet trying to put up a professional site to help me with my purchase, I think that actually works in your favor. I will have a very good view and perception of your efforts.
Unintentionally, yes.
Right.
So you know how every business they talk about building your brand story,
Yes.
telling your story to the world through your Instagram, TikTok, Reel stories and all that. I was a live story happening in my store.
I would imagine, yes.
Right?
Yes,
I didn't have to engage social media expert to do anything. I was live. You just need to walk into eClarity, you see a live brand story happening right in front of your eyes. You know what the brand mission is, you know what the brand purpose is, you know exactly what this brand is trying to achieve, trying to raise 3 children while being a responsible mother.
So was 3 a planned number, or you always wanted 3, or you just let nature?
So another life story that I probably wanted to share with you a bit more about myself was growing up, my parents always wanted to have more children.
Okay.
Right?
Were you the only child?
I'm the only child.
Oh, okay.
So but what happened was I had 2 brothers, but both passed away.
Oh, I'm so
So
sorry.
one brother was because he had some mental incapacity.
Okay.
In our today's term, it could be a shaken baby syndrome.
Shaken baby
syndrome.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure whether, I'm sure as a father, you know that when we have our baby, we're not supposed to shake them too hard.
Okay.
So judging from today's signs, I think it was because parents were busy and we were left to babysitters, and you know, maybe the less experienced one trying to make him sleep. So basically he stopped growing mentally at 1.5 year old.
Oh, no.
His body continued to grow, but his mental development stopped.
Oh, no.
So it's not like a Down syndrome case, but it's more like he just stopped growing at 1.5 year old.
Oh dear.
So children with this kind of disability, it is known that they don't grow beyond 18-20 years old because they are not able to take care of their hygiene well.
Okay.
For example, he couldn't bathe himself.
Okay.
Right? And then you know, once you pass a certain age, who is going to bathe for him? Right? So so that was true enough. He suffered from some infection, and then he passed on. My little brother, what happened to him was, again using today's science, it was a lack in folic acid. So he has a bump at the back of his spinal cord.
Okay.
Actually, I just saw an Instagram post on this kind of consequence to lack of folic acid as well. So he passed on after 3 months. So you know, growing up watching this and how much my parents were affected, and they always wanted to try again.
Right.
I have this just very innate urge to want to form my own family, right? Because growing up as the only child, I kind of, and it's psychologically proven that only child likes that form of connection. So I kind of want my own family. So I wanted more children.
But that's very interesting, because some people will say that they don't want to have children for fear of exactly such incidences whereby, you know, maybe the baby don't come out healthy, and maybe they don't know how to, for whatever reason, cause the taking care of the process don't go as well, right? So in the end, it actually motivated you more, as opposed to the other direction, right? So it's a bit counterintuitive.
I guess it's
I must say it's a bit
personalities, right? Different personalities. And I don't know if your listeners understand Chinese, but 一种米养百种人.
True,
right?
true.
So
okay. A type of grain can have different types of people, right?
Correct. So I think the consequence that had upon me was I had lots of fear, but I really wanted it. So
and your husband was in line with you all the way.
Yes. So he wanted more children. I also like to share at this point that I was divorced, but I'm already in a very secure relationship now.
Right, right.
So if we're covering the topic of relationship, I have a lot to share as
Oh,
well about
please.
you know, the mistakes that I made young parents, and I observed it because in my work I get to see many grooms and brides, right? Because we sell wedding rings and wedding bands.
Yes.
So when they come to us, they are always in the dating stage. Right.
Yes,
and
the
then,
most passionate, everything rosy.
Correct.
Cannot wait to buy the biggest rock.
Yes.
Right?
And then 5 years later, they come back to resize their rings because they both put on weight. And that's when I see their family development. They start to have children, and I see the interaction between the parents. And I can't help but to sometimes give them some word of concern.
So what do you normally see when they come back in, besides their fatter fingers? So what do you see?
Overwhelmed. Most of them are so overwhelmed with these new responsibilities, these new roles. Like we chatted just now earlier on before you started recording, we have no textbooks.
Yes.
We have textbooks for science, for math. You learn the tangent, angles, your geometry, you learn your subset and all that, but who teach you how to be a mother, how to be a father? How do you cope between your roles as a mother, as a business person, and as a wife? No one knows. We just stumble upon the role.
Yes.
We just struggle through, go with the flow. Many of us just, not that we fail, but we just didn't know how.
We always think we can do better, and some of us will always think that we know everything.
But the truth is, no one knows.
No one knows everything. Yes.
Yeah. So two things to share, right? And I share with you. I said, no one is born knowing how to be a mother. My eldest son taught me how. My second son allowed me to correct myself. My third son almost perfected me, right?
That's beautiful.
And I'm glad that I got the chance. But back to your question, what do I observe? They are all overwhelmed. They are all tired. They have no time, passion for each other anymore. The focus is all on the kids. And I just see tiredness, mentally, physically. They just look messy. They no longer groom themselves. They are also after chasing financial stability. You don't blame them because you cannot say let's relax, because there are competitions, there are pressure, there are timeline, there are expectations. So they are all working for a better life. But meanwhile, when you look at them as a senior parent, you know they are struggling.
Right? So what do you say to these people when they come in and then What sort of advice do you have an urge to share?
I always chat with them because you can never advise them, right?
True.
Because you have to learn your lesson in your own pace, in your own way. But I chat with them. I ask them, who is helping you with childcare? Can you trust them? Okay, so if they say yes, do you have time for your spouse? Do you have date nights? You know, they are very cliche. We all know we should do that.
Yes.
But do you do that wholeheartedly? Do you still respect your husband? Husbands, do you still love your wife? Do you still date her? Do you still praise her? Do you buy dresses for her? Do you buy roses for her? For wife, do you say, I respect you, my husband? I respect you. I respect you for what you have done.
This is very interesting. You use the word respect. Woman to man respect,
Yeah.
man to woman love.
Yeah.
And this was actually a topic that I had with another one of my guests, Eric. And then we were also exploring this word, whereby he said that men would prefer to be respected than loved, while women would prefer to be loved than respected. I mean, not to say that the woman don't want to be disrespected. Yes, it's just that they prioritize one over the other. It's very interesting that you should echo that. And this time is from a female perspective.
Yes, you know, we kind of all guess that, but there is actually a book on this.
Okay.
It's called Love and Respect.
Okay.
And the whole book talks about how man wants to be respected and women wants to be loved. So women wants the little things, like what I said just now, like little compliments. You know, think of your 5 love languages. Right? So love me in that way, right? I want your gift, I want your compliments, I want the, you know, staring into each other's eyes and spending time together. I want you to send me to work sometimes. You know, so I want the 5 love languages. Okay. But husband wants to be appreciated, want to be respected, right? And give them that. Yeah, because very often when you see husband and wife after sometimes, just because of being very result oriented, right? Because time is tight.
Yes.
Right? Kids is doing piano, the other one having taekwondo, the other one having tuition.
Yes.
And then the helper is complaining and
basically running the rat race now, right?
And then the mom, you know, we all have that something. At the same time, the mom still have to do manicure because there is a presentation tomorrow.
Yes.
Right? And then the husband has a PowerPoint slides that needs to be completed by tonight. So we all have that. So we no longer respect, we no longer love. No, we no longer show respect, and we no longer show love.
I think that's the word, right?
Yeah.
Show. Right? That's the word, show. Whereby people sometimes, just because we have lived with each other for so many years, sleep beside each other, we think whatever I'm feeling, you should know. Whatever you are feeling, I am supposed to know. Even when you show me otherwise, I'm supposed to understand that you love me. Right? So I think that is the part where, even yesterday when I was having a small conversation with my 2 other female friends, she was also saying that a few years ago I made the same statement, that we must treat the people that we love with even more care and concern rather than only show it to strangers. Right? We don't take the loved ones for granted. This resonates with what you said.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. So many people forget it.
I would like to say that we are all very capable in work. You must say, you know, you are capable in your work, and everyone is very capable. Why? Because our education, our internship, our university, our MNC structure, our
provide a lot of.
It has governed, it has trained us, and there is structure. And you carve out time. For example, probably every Monday you're supposed to send a report to your boss. Every Friday you're supposed to give a debrief to your team. There are structure for you to do it well. But in family, do you have that? Do you say that
you
every
have to develop your own? Not
so
many
do you have something like every Monday I have to show respect to my husband? Every Friday I have to compliment my wife. You don't have structure. You take it for granted.
No routines, no structure, right? Everything is just very, I feel like doing it, I'll do it.
And you can say, how can we form structure for something so, you know, something so soft?
So intangible,
right? If you can do it without structure, go ahead. That's lovely. But if you can't, then please put some structure in place. Right? I would say, put some structure, just like how you handle your work. I believe in that. I'm a very structured person. So I have my monthly couple forum.
Wow.
We have a forum format.
Couple forum?
Yeah.
Between you and your...
Yeah, my spouse. So we sit down and we discuss about 3 appreciation, 3 challenges.
Wow, that is taking structure to another level. That is like attending a course or a therapy session.
But
wow,
I must tell you that
that is amazing.
We always come out feeling better connected. Like we feel that we understand each other better. Like I didn't know what I did was so important to you. I didn't know until the couple forum.
Wow.
Right.
You have a name for it. That's so cool.
Yeah. And
how do you convince your spouse to actually do this?
He loves that.
Oh, he loves it.
Yeah. So he actually reminds me. He will say things
wow.
like, this month we haven't done it. I think we should do it. Because with this, we no longer argue. Because whenever there is any misalignment, I know that I would have an outlet. I know that there will be time for this. Like now we're just busy with our things, right? We have children, we have career, we have so many responsibilities on hand. But I know that there will be a time for me to air my thoughts. Similarly, he will have his time to air his thoughts.
So it's about finding the right time to say the right things, and you are actually creating a time just to say all these things outright.
Rather than saying it when you have 5 minutes meal. That is when it gets emotional. But then you think, okay, it's okay. We will have our time. And when the time comes, we can dwell deeper. And you will be surprised because sometimes when you dwell deeper, you understand actually he has his needs too. You have your need. It's just that it's hard to converse in the midst of say a
daily
coffee,
grind of life,
session, breakfast, or in the midst of a nasi lemak session. You can't because you have your.
So you mean it's not like a date night that you all do this couple forum? It's a literal sit down with a glass of wine and then you sit to each other
talk.
and then no
with the
disturbance.
Music, you do it from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. on a Friday when the kids are asleep, or...
Right now 20-year-old cannot be sleeping at 10. I don't believe.
But you no longer need to care whether he's asleep or not, right? I'm speaking for your listeners in case they have their 3-year-old and 5-year-old. Carve out that 2 hours. Instead of watching movies all the time, instead of, going for supper all the time, I think it will be nice to have these kind of couple forum time. I think it helps.
So will there be times where you have a forum where there is really nothing to address?
No,
then what do you
no, never ever.
Serious?
Yeah, I mean
every session you have something to address.
I mean just 3 appreciation, right? Just
okay.
3,
you
because
even
you
have
see,
the actual
it's
thing to
3
say.
appreciation, 3 challenges, right? And we also go through our love tank.
Love tank.
If you have read the 5 love languages, so love tank, like how much, so we write down touch, gift, words. What is the score? Like, is it 5 upon 10?
Wow.
Is it 10 upon 10? So that is just sharing.
Wow, there's even empirical. You're even gathering empirical data.
If this was a video, I will show that to you later on. But
okay, the 5 languages of love. That's basically what you are
just
basing
a score.
it on.
That's a score. That's just an introduction. The start to set the tone, right? So to set the tone, and then the 3 appreciation, and then we also have making sure that we have common goal. There's another book that says, I think it's called The Triumph of Life or something. It says that between couple, you should have a common goal on top. You should have conflict management in between, and at the bottom is understanding.
So which one forms the foundation, or is it?
Understanding is the foundation. Common goal is important, and in between have your conflict management, right? So with that, in our couple forum format, we also have our couple goal, like a week. For example, you want to slim down. For example, so let me help
individual
you
goal.
Achieve your goal as a couple.
Okay.
Correct?
You share your individual goals for that particular period of time. and then
correct.
you find
So
ways
for
to support
example,
each
if you want to eat healthier,
Right.
and I shouldn't be cooking fried ngohiam all the time, right? So then we should probably have some sports together. We probably could. So, you know, just to align what is our common goal and what is our personal goal. Yeah, so we talk about that. So surely there will be no time that we have nothing to talk about.
Wow.
And there is another one that we talk about sharing. So something that you learn and something that I learn. So a book that I read, I summarize for you. A book that you read, summarize for me. So we both grow at the same time. So I will show you that format later.
Wow, that is so interesting. My goodness. I can't wait to share with my wife and then ask her if she wants to do it.
Yes, just do it. I think
Couples
it's slow.
forum, wow.
Yeah, it doesn't
Well,
have
we should totally amplify this in the concept of for younger parents. Because younger parents, every time their priority is always all the kid, right? Every time the full attention is always on the kid, and then they totally, like what you say, overlook each other's contribution to the program, and then they're just focusing on the kid. So that is not healthy.
Of
Whereas
course.
for you, you are focusing on the relationship between the spouse, right? Rather than the rather you're prioritizing the importance of maintaining a very strong relationship within the two of
Let
you.
me share with you. You would think that the most challenging time is young parents, but the problem continues. Parenthood never stops, right? And I say I'm in parenthood 2.0 now,
Okay.
right?
Teenagers.
It's different. I am probably more I have more freedom than you, but my concern is of another level. Are they making the right friends? Are they making the right career choice? Are they growing, you know, personality, character-wise? Are they thinking the right path? For example, my eldest one told me the other day when I sent him to Sungai Gedong, because that's where his camp is,
Right.
and that is my one-on-one time. I have structure, right? So with my 3 kids, all of them, I have a one-on-one time with them that is
Is it in the car?
structured.
So it's in the car.
Wednesday, I have dinner with my youngest one, just one-on-one.
Okay.
Thursday, I have it today. I
Oh
have it
wow.
with my second son. And Sungai Gedong is my eldest son, right? So that's the time when we chat, right? Because young adults like them, they don't have a lot of time for you.
Yes.
And they
I'm
are not
starting
the
to see my
kind
eldest one. Yes.
who wants to have very intense conversations. So it has to be lighthearted. It has to be done over a car ride, over a meal, right? So I just want to have fun with them, right? So my eldest one told me, I want to earn a lot of money.
Okay.
Okay. So you see, the challenge is different level, correct? Because then, as parent, you need to capture this early enough.
Okay.
Then you would. I mean, of course, I told him things like don't chase after money. Money will follow you when you are doing good to the society. So he does well enough to get into law. Then I said just focus to be a good lawyer, right? Rather than chasing after money. So, and then my second son is now with a group of very well-off kids, right? And then the brand consciousness, hairstyle, buying gift for friends. So new thing, like we parents, I feel that I grow so much being a parent because you learn so many things.
Yes.
You learn that wow, your love can be expanded so much. You learn how to be a good role model. You learn how to communicate to your kids. You know, these words like don't chase after money and money will follow you. You need to be constantly reading so that you can verbalize these words. And why am I reading so much? I want to be a good role model. I want to be able to educate my kids. So yeah, so I think parenthood, couplehood, they remain to be a challenge through your life. Just so that I prep, if your listeners are young parents, I want to prep them that this is not just temporary. Don't expect that after this phase is over, things will become better. No, it requires your consistent work.
So I think this is the part where it gets. I have a controversial view on this particular few words that you were using, right? You use challenges, so it doesn't stop, and it must keep going on. So for someone who is agnostic about parenting, right? For someone who is looking around at his peers who are parents, their like what you experience. Fat fingers coming over the chains, look tired, dilapidated, not having any, don't even bother to put on makeup, just tired through, shriveled hair and things like that. And then they will be asking themselves, why would I want to commit to that? Right? Why would I want to take on that journey where it never seems to end? And there is so much to do in a society where it values achievements over connections. And I have to pay so much money to ensure that they take the right path. After that, when they go to a certain age, I still have to care about, you know, what kind of friends they make and things like that. The concerns are endless. What instead, I should just get a dog. I should just get a dog, call myself a dog daddy, call my son I don't know, a corgi or something. So what is it that about parenting that still makes us want to do what we do? Right? Yeah. So for me, it's because I can never forget the first time they opened their eyes and looked at me, and the joy in which they run towards me and give me the tightest of hug can never be replaced. Right? No amount of money can. And I always want to just, whatever money that I have, I want to share the joy with them. Right? Taking them on trips, seeing them laugh. For me, standing on top of Mount Everest alone versus standing on top of Bukit Timah Hill with my family, I think it's a no-brainer. It's always Bukit Timah Hill for me. and in that sense, like, because I get to share the experience, right? So for me, that's why I'm doing it, and that's why I have four kids. And so, is that the same for you?
4 kids, awesome.
Is that the same for you?
Let's pause and applaud you first.
No. It's not that I'm trying to achieve anything. It's just something that I like doing. My wife don't mind it, and I have very strong support. I'm lucky. I have to say that there was a huge element of luck in what I can manage to amass in terms of the number of kids I have. But I'm saying I don't regret any day of it. Right? Every single day spent with my wife and my family and my own parents is a godsend. Every time I go to the temple is to say thank you. I don't ask for anything, I only say thank you. But I am trying to, what is your take? What motivated you to have 3 and yet want to structure so much individual time to ensure that you stay connected to their lives, right? Despite the work.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so firstly, I am 2 minds about whether we should challenge people who have decided to not have kids, right? Let's just park that aside first.
Of course.
Because I do think that different life model, different lifelines probably lead to different things that we want in our life. But if you ask me for myself alone,
Of course.
like what I shared just now, they are now my life purpose. Also, I've grown so much with them. My boys now, because they are 20, 18 and 15, we talk about relationship, right? So they will come to me, and my eldest son, the same trip to Sungai Gedong, he asked me, Mommy, do you think I should encourage my future wife to pursue her own career, or should I encourage her to be supportive
Interesting
of
question.
his career, right?
Interesting.
So you see, and it's such deep
It is.
conversation,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
And he also talked to me about politics, right?
Politics as in government politics, office
Government
politics,
politics.
or government.
Government
Okay,
politics. So
interesting.
he loved those conversations. And I can tell you, before I have kids, I don't even know who is the ruling party. We kind of know, but yeah,
There you go.
I did, but now I am so aware of global situation, the superpower, I'm so aware of the shift, all these things that are going on in the world, because I want to be able to intellectually stimulate my children of the age. So you see, so I grow so much. I learn how to communicate. I learn to keep myself healthy because I want to be able to stay active with them. So we traveled to Europe last year. We traveled to China the year before that. I want to be able to enjoy life with them. Every Saturday, my family rule, they are 20, 18 and 15, but every Saturday dinner, we reject all our friends. We stay as a family.
Saturday
dinner.
Walao, there's a lot to
Yeah,
ask,
man.
man. Saturday, come on. Sunday I can still give you. Saturday, wow.
I
that
started
is tough.
early. I started early, so
Wow.
thank God. Yeah. So
Okay, maybe I should start. Hold them down first before they fly.
so my rule is that Saturday, because why I want to teach the value of prioritizing family.
Okay.
I want to teach the concept of inclusiveness, right? So if you have your spouses in the future, please join us. If you have your best friend, please join us, right? But Saturday dinner, which is the most precious but relaxed time, is reserved for family. I know it's a bit too much to ask, but I hope my children are not listening. But they are now so used to this that
Right.
they reject their friends.
Right.
Proudly, confidently, and say that Saturday is for my family.
Wow.
And so if there is a birthday of a best friend, they'll say I have to come late. So
Okay.
6 to 8 with my mom and my family, and then 8 o'clock I will join you later, right? For the 20-year-old who
Yep.
only has 2 days out of camp,
Right.
he does that.
So it has been ingrained in them to the
Correct.
point whereby they want to do it. It's not
Correct.
because they need to
Yes.
and then they come dragging their feet
And I
and
tell
doing
you, Saturday is so fun. You know what? We say we'll go around to support local business.
Oh.
So we don't go and eat at your chain restaurant
All the
or
Hai Di
your
Laos
review.
and
Okay lah, sometimes we
you and my wife the same. When did I don't cook my own food.
No, wait, talking about cooking, that's another topic. But Saturday what we do is we go around and look for struggling local business.
Oh. Okay.
Right, restaurant that has nobody. If we go to a place, we'll go for the quietest restaurant
Oh.
and just go and support them and say some good words to them. Like, you're
Wow.
awesome. Like,
So
we-
collectively you are doing societal good.
So together, I think the kids learn something. Also proudly tell their friends. So Saturday is for us to support local business. So we will go. It's not easy to find, no? Because struggling local
I
business
thought struggling local business a lot.
means you can't find them on Instagram, right?
Oh.
Because they're not doing marketing, correct?
Right,
So,
right.
and so sometimes it's hard to find. So we have to drive around and then find a place that is the
Wow,
quietest and
okay.
go in. And then sometimes we suffer because they're quiet because of a reason. and then, wow, that's super
And yet you must
expensive.
maintain a
Wow, the
positive
food
thing.
is super like, wow, can we go for McDonald's later? But it's a joy, right? And then they teach me things like the Sigma, Skibidi and all that.
Eh, you mean your son's age is also
They know
also these words? I thought
Of
these
course.
words are even younger.
But they know. They know.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
and then, we just laugh and laugh and laugh as a family. So it's also part of my mission that I want to make my family as fun as possible, because if not, then they will seek fun elsewhere.
Yes.
So I want to make my family as fun as possible. So they are not just my sons. They are my brothers, they are my best friends, they are my hangout group, they are my learning group, they are my development
Your community,
peers,
right? Your village.
right? So why do you want to have children? These are my reasons, right? And now my eldest one pay for meals sometimes.
Wow.
He bought Apple AirPod for me,
Wow.
right?
Nice.
My youngest one sometimes, when we go to Malaysia, he said, it's on me, because he has some
Oh.
ringgit, right? So, you not that we want that financial reward, of course, they're far from there. But
It's the initiative to step up to want to pay. I
Correct.
think that is the one
Yeah.
that's heartening, right?
correct. Yeah. So not so much about the concern of, you said some people are choosing not to have children because they're worried about, the monetary commitment and the struggle. No, at the same time you are growing. At the same time you find meaning in your life. At the same time you just know that you will emerge stronger. Not that the problem will go away, but because you sort of finish primary school, you move on to secondary school, in parenthood, right? So between 0 to 10, I say you are a teacher to your kid. Between 10 to 20, you are a coach to your kid. 20 upwards, you are a mentor,
Mentor.
right? You no
Okay,
longer
yeah.
teach. You try to teach A math, in A levels.
No way, man.
Come on,
No
don't
way.
try.
I don't know where to put
you
the
want
A.
to you want to
I
you
don't know where
want
to
to
put the
teach
A, I'm
C
serious.
math? No, come on, don't try. Don't
Yep,
try.
yep.
You can't. You can only be a coach.
Yep.
Coach does what? Well done.
Mm.
Please do it again. Do you need something? Do you need water?
And
Do
also
you
coach
need
them to
fruits?
find the answers themselves,
Correct,
right?
coach them. And when you are a mentor, what happens? Don't advise unless you are asked. Right, so they will
okay.
come to you. Like now, my 20-year-old is asking me questions, and then you mentor. And then sometimes I'll say, I don't have the answer, but let's debate about this. Let's discuss about this. If I wasn't a parent, I don't think I would be so interesting as a person. I mean, this interview wouldn't happen. This podcast wouldn't happen, right? So yeah, so we are growing at the same time.
So they provided you with a purpose and caused you to have add so much more meaning and more interest in your lives, and hence you grow so much more as a person, as a mother.
Yeah, I think I'm a lot more enriched, a lot more enhanced, a lot more confident, a lot more purposeful with them.
I have spoken to a few youngsters and about just turning 30, right? So they are just not thinking much, right? They're just we'll see how it goes on. That's the perfect answer. See how it goes. Then when the time comes, they're 40, they're 42, right? And that's where the decision is no longer lies with them. It has been taken away from them, right? So that's why I find that having these conversations might help them get a better understanding of what being a parent is, right? And what are the joys of being a parent, and not just the cost of being a parent. Yeah, because nobody talks about the rewards, or rather not say rewards, the enjoyments. Nobody talks about it. Everybody likes to wear their misery as a badge of honor. You know what I'm saying? Every time you see a young mother at the Monday, oh, very tired. Over the weekend, I send my kid to this and that. I send my kid to this and that. They have this and that. So they wear their misery as a badge of honor for I don't know why. Either it's because they don't know how to show the happy part, or they are just so engulfed in their fatigue that they only show them. So that is to me not the best advertisement for parenting, right? And it's subconscious. It's not that they want to actually do it, right? I totally understand, but it's just that it's a subconscious advertisement.
Yeah, it's a society norm in Asia, right? We are, we are more humble. We are more, we don't want to flaunt. We want to be able to connect through our challenges and our problems, right? That's one thing. And secondly, I think we must thank you, because with the podcast, you're providing a channel for all the parents and all the experienced couple to share their journey. So the better side, the challenges, I think everything should be shared, because you can't blame them. Like what we said just now,
No, there's no blame.
there's no textbook.
Yes,
So it's
there is simply no
normal.
textbook.
That's only, it's understandable to be fearful, right? So not everyone is so gay kiang like us, right? Just go first.
Just go first.
Yeah, just go. And I have 3, you have 4. Like you're more gay kiang than me, right? So they are very careful. Probably they'll become the best parents. Like no best, but they probably become very good parents just because they think so hard. But I think they should listen to your podcast, and so that they get to listen to different side of the stories, and they know that there is a network, and they know that there are books that they can read, right? So different phase you read different books, right? In my phase, I love the book about Surrounded by Idiots.
Okay.
I mean, the book title is a bit intimidating, but it is a very good book. So it talks
Surrounded
about
by Idiots.
it talks about how people are divided into red, yellow, blue, and green, meaning result-oriented, fun-loving, very sincere and calm, and very detailed.
Right.
And I analyze my kids, and I notice that they are different. My eldest son is very result-oriented.
Okay.
So
Sounds like mine as well.
the second son is very fun-loving.
Oh my
so
god.
Don't,
Sounds like my
don't pressurize him.
Sounds like my second boy as well.
So you want to have fun with him. You cannot be asking him whether he has done his homework all the time, right? And my youngest one is green. Is very accommodating. He cares about what you think. He tries to please you. So then we need to know, right? So I think this is one book that I read and I apply it on my kids and understand them better. The 5 Love Languages, another good book.
Okay.
I learned that my eldest son, his love language is gift. And I don't have that in me. Like, I am a well done, good boy. I'm not a buy this kind of person. But did I just tell you just now that he bought AirPod for me?
Yes.
He's a gift person. So then I learned that I have to gift him. And the moment I gift doesn't have to be expensive, you know, like buying acai for him every Sunday, you know, and things like that. And when they feel love, they then can respond better. Don't think that he's materialistic or something. It's just that we all have our different needs in receiving love. So I think that is also a second good book that I recommend to parents to read. And the third book that I would like to recommend is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a FCK. So now that book is also good because I learned that I'm a better career woman because I have kids. I'm a better mother because I have a career. Because you know that there are things that are larger than life. Like when I work so hard and all that, I know that at 7 o'clock, I have a dinner with my second today. There's something larger than life. Right? And when you are at home and when you think that you're troubled by all the little things, I have a career on hand. So so I think that it's actually very hard to be a stay-at-home mom. I actually think. I mean, really, really kudos to all of the listeners who are stay-at-home
wonderful homemakers.
Yeah, wonderful. Your sacrifices is awesome. I think it's easier to be me. I don't know. I think it's easier because we learn lesson and we apply on the other side, you know, and then we become a better 2-person. You probably should interview a stay-at-home mom next or something. Yeah,
why not?
Right?
Yeah,
and see how they really manage to still continue to grow, continue to develop. We're talking about self-development.
Right.
How do they balance their emotional stability, right? When you're staying home all the time. Right. So if I had a daughter, I would recommend that, you know, balance your life.
Right. So you're saying that both aspects feed off one another.
Correct.
And allows a distraction from each other when one of them gets tough.
Yeah.
Right? If the family gets tough, there is a distraction.
You know,
right?
you don't have to do a 50-50. You could do a 70-30. Right? So let's say if you want to be the nurturing mother, keep the 30% to reading, to hosting, you know, to chatting with people, you know, launch a YouTube channel where you talk about parenting or something like that. I think just keep yourself 70-30. That would be what I recommend to if I had a daughter. I probably would say that.
Very enlightening. So how would you view the importance of sibling relations? Because this is one aspect that I am currently focusing on. Because after all, my 4 boys, they have differing interesting relationships with each other. Right? Yeah. So my take is that the most important relationships in a family is, number 1 is the husband and wife.
Yeah.
That's the most important bond.
Correct.
And the second most important bonds is actually between the siblings. So they should have the most important bonds. And then the third bond will be the parent and the child. Or rather the third focus. Because I find that the parent and the child, it will just naturally grow. And when the parents have good relations with each other and the siblings have good relations with each other, the bonds between the 2 groups will just grow and grow and get stronger.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm interested to know what are your views on siblinghood? How do they interact with each other? Are there any efforts? Because you made structural efforts to work with one of them, right? Or at any one point in time. Are there any thoughts behind when we talk about siblinghood and the relationship between one and each other?
Sure. I think it's very good that you have all these different angles. I think it's awesome. So I can tell you my observations, right? So I have 3 boys, you have 4, so you have one more complexity there, one more permutation there.
Yes, exactly.
Right? So
exactly.
I have 3. And when they were young, they were all in one room, right?
Okay.
They were all sleeping in one room together. They were showering together. And now Saturday, the part that we're having fun, I try to let them interact. Because when I'm driving, I listen to the 3 interactions. The songs that they listen to, the sports that they are playing, right? I think sports, when we come to boys, we both don't have girls, so I don't think we can speak on behalf of parents who have girls. But having 3 boys, I think we have the easier way out. I think sports connect boys, at least my boys.
Right. Do
So,
they follow a common sport?
So my second and my third are swimmer.
Okay.
My eldest is a martial art boy.
Right.
Okay, so he's into the boxing, the jiu-jitsu and all that. But my eldest needs someone to spar with, right? So he spar with the second one.
Whoa.
Right? So
Whoa.
yeah. And then, my second and my third swim. So my second and third share swimming insights.
Right.
And my eldest and my youngest, they are both very literature people. So they analyze poems and all that.
Wow.
So I think common interests gel them together. True enough, they have to explore their own individual relationship. As parents, what I do is to make sure that they have fun together.
Okay.
So Saturday is playing Spotify on my little mini.
Right.
I will have fun time.
Okay.
Supporting local business is our family goal.
Okay.
All right, that's our family goal. We don't, not only that, we also support local movie, and then they were like, really? Support local movie? That's good, right?
Money not enough. 5 or whatever.
Yeah, you know what I mean, right? And
Yes,
the faces of my 20-year-old, like, good that this is not video. And then, right, so those are our common goal. And then they have their own common interests. And sometimes I just try to, can I run with you boys? I just say that. And I say, mommy, but we run at very different pace.
Right.
Say, okay, fine.
Okay. Then we run around the track and
Yeah, so I think they will form their own relationship. And remember my couple forum?
Yes.
I had my first family forum. So all my boys, we sit down together, we say 3 appreciation, we say 3 challenges, we form our family goals, and we sit down and talk about that.
So what you're saying is you have used a lot of common activities, and then as a family, then in doing these common activities and sharing and being together in shared spaces, in your case, you all were listening to the music and all that, and that allowed them a lot of opportunities to interact amongst themselves and be comfortable in each other's presence.
I think for me, in my case, and if for any of your listeners who are in my case, I don't have support network. You notice I have no siblings. My parents are not around. My mom has passed on. My dad lives in KL.
Okay.
I have no support network. So I have to be very intentional about it. I've seen people with support network. It happens naturally. For example, every Sunday you visit grandma.
Right.
Those are your weekly activity. Or you go to the same church. That's your family goal. For example, there is a church camp coming, and all of you are preparing for that. You have a common goal. But for me, being a single mother for a long time, I had to be intentional about it. So I form my own structure. Right. So so Saturday is the day that we explore. Sunday actually, because I used to spend a whole Sunday coaching them. So I used to have 3 boys sitting down and math, Chinese, English. I'll be coaching them on homework. And then 5 o'clock we go down and swim. Now I realize I have no more roles at home. Between 2 to 5, no one is asking where mommy is. So then I started cooking. and I'm talking about serious cooking.
So
like
the
I
cooking
cook.
part.
Yes. So like this Sunday I'll say Indian cuisine. So then I will cook your butter chicken, nasi biryani.
But they will come home for dinner on Sunday.
So this one is not not mandatory.
I was going to use that word.
But then I attract you with good food. So I cook like Indian cuisine. Next Sunday will be Thai cuisine, Middle Eastern cuisine, Chinese cuisine. And I tell you, all three boys are present every Sunday.
Wow, that's so awesome.
So for me it's therapeutic.
Okay.
Because that's why I say it never ends, because from so full of responsibility to no responsibility on Sunday, as parent you feel emptiness too.
Yes.
Like what do you do?
Yes.
At 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Not that they will go out and shop with you anymore, you know.
Yes.
Not that they need you for homework anymore, right?
Yes.
I don't want to go out, right? I could go out and shop myself, but I kind of want to be that pillar at home. So I just get myself so busy in the kitchen. Therapeutic for me, cooking is what? It's an art. It's a science. I even do plating, okay?
Whoa.
So it's an art, it's a science. At the end of it, you have good food. And being very result-oriented career woman, I need to see results, right? So I results. And I ask for reviews. And I improve myself. So yeah, so that's how I cope with the transition as well. Right. I guess the next transition when I hear from the senior parents will be when they come back with their spouses, right? And then how do you manage that relationship? So you see, it never ends. If you want to do a good job in life, as a mother, as a wife, as a career woman, as a daughter, it never ends. You continue to learn, because life is just transitioning from one phase to another.
And I like the fact that you're always talking to senior parents.
Yeah, I am.
And because this is what I'm also subconsciously engaging in, whereby I want to talk to Gen X parents, and then sometimes I talk to boomer parents about the challenges that they go through, because I'm a firm believer of learning from others' mistakes, right? If I make my own mistakes, then I learn. I think it's a little bit too late. So I would prefer to reduce those and keep it to a minimal, and I learn from other people's mistakes, and I try to navigate my way around it. So that's why I like your approach when despite having no network, no support, and being a single mother for so long, that's amazing. That you are still able to improve on your own by doing so much reading, as well as to talk to others. So you seek out your own education, you seek out your own improvements, and you act.
Thank you for the
that's
compliments.
amazing, yeah.
I received the word of affirmation from you. But a few words that I picked up from what you shared just now. When you say I read so much, right? I'm sure some of your listeners would think, how do you find time to read? You run your business, you have 3 children, and you have all your little hobbies. How do you find time to read? I listen to audiobooks. So when I'm driving, brushing teeth, showering, when I fetch him to Sungai Gedong, I have 33 minutes back home. So every some short book within 3 days you can finish a book. If some complicated book, maybe within 2 weeks. So I'm always listening. Busy women and men out there, I think audiobooks are awesome.
They have to trade their Netflix. They trade their Netflix, their YouTube, their doom scrolling.
Yeah, really.
I came from train just now.
Really.
All of them were watching some soap opera, some Korean
your life
movies.
just changed.
Yes.
Yeah, your life just changed if you could. I know we all need entertainment. Don't be hard on yourself. But 50% lah.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I still watch my YouTube and do my silly scrolling. I still do that. But I no longer listen to songs. And I realize that when you're driving, if you're listening, you're actually more patient than if you're listening to radio.
Yeah,
right?
for me, I listen to podcasts, and what you said about using audiobooks, I think Joe Rogan mentioned as well. He also reads a lot and through audiobooks that he listens.
So it's 10 years that I started listening to audiobooks. The word and my words are enhanced, my mindset are enhanced. You're more interesting conversational. Yeah, so that's just one thing that I picked up in case people would think
Audiobooks.
that I have no
Right.
time to read. And in fact, now if you ask me to read a book, I always fall asleep. I don't know. I mean, I'm just being honest here.
Yeah, my wife got a book and put it by the bedside. I think it's been there for.
It's always there, right?
Yes.
Or if not, it's like read like 20 pages and then new book.
Yeah, even for me,
20
I
pages
don't
and
even
new
bother
book.
putting the book there.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's
I'll
nice.
go back to
Sometimes the
listen to
cover
the book.
is so nice that you need some decoration, like
Yes,
interior decor. Yeah, I understand. So that's the first thing I picked up from what you shared. Second thing that I like to share, because you're on the topic, I would like to share some of the learnings that I had from
Those books.
the senior parents.
Oh, senior parents.
You talk about senior
Yes,
parents.
yes.
So one of my customers, right? So how I got to know her was because the groom and bride came to our place to buy rings, right?
Right.
And then one boy came, bought a ring for the wife, and I know that they are both doctors. He brought his brother here. The brother is also a doctor.
Okay.
And then he brought his brother here, is also a doctor.
Okay.
Eventually, the mom came and bought some 4点金 and 4点钻.
Okay.
And I talked to the mom, I said, you are so awesome, you know. All 3 boys are
All
doctors,
doctors.
all married doctors. Okay? The mom was a marketing exec,
Right.
right? I mean, not that they are from medical line
Yes.
or something.
Yes.
Like, how do you do that? You're not a stay-home mom, right? It's not like you spend all your time nurturing your kid. A simple, humble life. She said, one thing that I did right was, since young, he sent all 3 boys to swimming. So through swimming, they learn determination. They learn how to face failure, because you can't win all the time. They learn discipline, because the coaches, the way they scold you, no joke one, you know.
Yes.
So they are competitive swimmers, right? So that was one thing that I think has inspired me, that boys especially, and I think same goes to girls, you need to have passion, you need to have a goal, you need to have something that you're working on that allows you to be determined, to, you know, to have friends, to face failure sometimes, you know. So that's one thing that I learned, that I like to share.
Competitive sports.
Competitive sports, right? That's from the mom who have now 6 doctors under one roof, right?
Wow.
So that's one. The other thing that I learned from my eldest son, Hua Chong teacher.
Okay.
So my eldest son, he went through a very rebellious time. He was like the GEP kind of boy, but he dropped out. He went to Hua Chong, but he was not in the IP program. He was in the IP program, but he was playing games all the time. And
The
then
talented rebel.
correct. And during one parent-teacher chat, I cried, you know. Like, oh no, my boy was like so much potential, but now he's gamer, right? The teacher told me he went through that. He has a son who is 25 years old now. He said his son went through that. And there was this period of time that he doesn't go out of his room. He's just staying in his room playing game every day.
Okay.
So what he did was he didn't give up on him. He didn't pressure him. He let him be. But every day at 8:30, he will cut a plate of fruits and bring into the boy. Okay? He just do that. Because the son refused to talk to him.
Wow.
Okay, so I don't know how old your kids are.
My eldest is 15.
Okay, so
Pushing that age.
okay, let's
Pushing
pray.
the
Let's pray.
pushing
Right?
the age.
But you know, sometimes they do go through. Not every boy go through
No,
that.
he is going through right
Okay,
now. Yeah,
so
he is.
so what he did was he just every day at 8:30 he'd bring in a plate of fruits and just say, "Daddy loves you. How's your day?" Now the son doesn't even look at him, you know. He just continue playing.
Okay.
He just every day for years after years he just do that.
Wow.
Until one day he said, "Papa, where's my fruit today?" Right? So he becomes, you know,
Used to it.
used to it, like simple gesture, but there's a lot in it, right? There is consistent not giving up.
Right.
Papa still love you,
Right.
and Papa has not given up on you.
Right.
Papa wants the best of you, right? And I get to see you, right? And now the boys have already
Pass through that
come
phase.
back, right?
Right.
And then
Wow.
yeah, so he shared with me that I learned from that. So when my boy was going through the phase, I just every day bring in a plate of fruit also.
Oh, exactly. Like for like.
I was so lost.
Right.
I didn't know
Wow.
what to do.
Okay.
Because when he was about Sec 2, I remember I confiscated his phone. You know what he did? He shut off the lights, closed the door, refused to eat.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right? So then, yeah, I didn't know what to do, so I just follow. Right? So, but my boy changed when he has a goal, because you see, the second and third boys are swimmer in my family. My eldest was not a swimmer, so he didn't have a goal. You know, he was good in sports, but not national competitive level. But the moment he wanted to be a lawyer, okay, let's debate lah. I mean, we can debate whether being a lawyer is good or bad, right? People talk about AI and all that,
Yep.
but the moment he has a goal,
That is the topic. It's not about being the lawyer, it's about the goal.
He changed. He wants to be it, and then he go figure out what grades are needed, what subjects are needed, what subjects are not needed,
Right.
and you just be focused.
How did he come to the realization of being a lawyer?
I talked to him. I said, "What do you want to? I mean, do you want to go to uni? I mean, the
Okay.
fact that you are playing games every day, do you want to be a competitive gamer? If you want, then let's figure out how to be a competitive gamer.
Right.
Then you better train hard, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe not hard enough, you know.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're not going to be a competitive gamer, then do you want to go university or not?
Okay.
Okay. If you want, what do you want to pursue? So he said, okay.
Basically coaching him.
So
by
we
what you
wrote down everything, like psychologists and all that, and say, okay, let's figure out what grades are needed to get into these fields.
said. Right.
Okay, so if you get, I don't know, like A, B, B, you get into this. A, through interviews, you get into this. If you get C, you get into this. So these are in front of you. Now you still have a choice. Next year you don't. So then he thought about it and he made up his mind. My life is set. I can't be a lawyer. I mean, I can, but I also can't, you know. Like, I'm past that phase.
Right.
You do the right thing at the right time. When you still have a choice, you do it. I also told him how I wish someone coached me this way. Because last time when I was young, I know that I want to do well, but I actually don't know what I want to be.
Right.
So when it comes to university, choosing a faculty, I just choose, oh, my grade can get into this, okay lor. Or friends say that one good, okay lor, right lor.
Right.
You know, I didn't have a clear mind of what I wanted to be. How do I want to contribute back to the society? But for him, I asked, do you think this would help you to contribute to your family, contribute to the society? So think about that.
And this conversation happened at 14.
Sec 3, Sec 4.
15, 16 years old.
Correct.
It's the perfect time for mine.
Correct.
Then how did he carry on pursuing that particular goal that he agreed with?
Remember,
Because there will be times where you drop off, right?
I told you my eldest son is result oriented.
Yes.
He's the red kind of guy.
Yes.
So this style fits him well. I'm also red. I'm also result oriented.
Right.
So then I realized when I use the same formula on my second son,
Doesn't work.
it doesn't work. He's a yellow guy. He's a hey brother,
right, yes.
dab me up, right?
Yes,
He's the kind. And then I say, what's your goal? Don't know. What do you want to be?
Oh my god, it sounds like
Don't
my
know.
conversation with my second one.
You want to do this? Don't know. Like, oh shucks.
So I gotta find a new approach.
Then you have to read the book. Okay, yellow how? Have fun. I'm still learning. I must say that, you
yes.
know, we're both not teachers here.
Yep.
We can only share what we have done right,
Right.
and hopefully it applies on some of you. But yeah, so I'm still learning how to speak to my second one. I mean, what I learn now is I play tennis with him. I try to have fun with him. Yeah.
So the first one, I'm interested in the first one because he mentioned that you agree with him on a goal and he established that you wanted to be a lawyer. But that was a conversation between you and him. My concern is I might at that point in time I might be having that conversation with him. We might arrive at a conclusion, but he might just be saying it to end the conversation.
So
He might not really be feeling it.
go find your red, yellow, green, blue first.
Okay.
What is your son, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's different.
Okay.
Like my yellow boy, the second boy, yes, we also kind of achieve a conclusion, you know. We sort of say he wants to be a psychologist. But because he is not the red guy, he's not the
He's not
result
pursuing
oriented. He's not. He still wants to have fun, right? So I think he needs a bit more time, right? So you know, if 3 years later we were to have a podcast again,
absolutely.
I would say that now let me tell you how to handle.
I'm going to be hounding you for follow-up episodes. I'm going to be
like,
following your progress and using yours as a copycat book for me.
No, yeah, or I would come and say, oh, actually, that's not the way to do it. I think if your boy was a blue boy, for example, which is an analytical person, then you really need to write down the pros and the cons, you know, and all that. So when I am in doubt, I read those books again, and then you get inspiration. And when you read, you think, you read, you think. When you read the second, no, listen. When you listen second time, you think.
Yes.
When you listen the third time, you think deeper. So just as you drive and as you brush your teeth or as you run or as you do anything, right? Just keep that inspiration. I think different strokes for different folks.
Yes.
But at the same time, I love this channel where we can just share and spar and debate and discuss.
Well, I think my major takeaway from today's conversation is your little family forums that you have started, as well as your couple forum, as well as the few books. Maybe you can list down the books again for the benefit of our listeners.
Surely.
The few
so
ones.
the 5 Love Languages.
Five
super
Love Languages.
Popular book, right? Gary Chapman.
Okay.
Yeah, I think anyone have read or heard, but please go and read again.
Okay.
Right?
Five
Because
Love
read
Languages.
it yourself. Don't hear those summary or whatever.
Sure.
Listen to the summary. Listen to the whole book. If you can't read a book like me, 老花眼 a little bit, right?
All right.
And
Five
fall
Love
asleep all the
Languages.
time.
Okay.
Yeah, just that is a good book. Surrounded by Idiots.
Surrounded by
Don't
idiots.
get intimidated by the title. It's actually a good book,
Okay.
right? So it's really apply on kids, apply on your spouse, apply on your staff, apply on anybody, on your parents. You then understand that, you know, this book basically say that, let's say if you are raped, you actually think the rest of the people are idiots, but they think you are idiots just because you have different mentality.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So
And
that's
the
a
subtle
good,
art of
not giving a that.
Right,
Yeah, that's also a
right.
good book because we're so overwhelmed. We care so much. It's not wrong. You care, but this book help you to relax a bit.
Especially useful for us, right? In Singapore,
Correct.
where we always feel the constant strain of the everyday grind, right?
Yeah. So there are just things larger than life. Right? There are just so many good books out there. Just fill yourself with this 50% of the scrolling time, right? Yeah, I think that will be very fulfilling.
Wow, this is just an awesome episode today. I feel like I can talk to you forever when it comes
Yeah,
to this.
me too. Like, you know, I think being loving parents, and we all are, and being very passionate career people, and we all are. We're just responsible people, right? We just care so much. So I love this interaction with you. I love this sparring and this discussion, and I really also, because as I speak, I also get clarity in mind, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I just
It's when you are able to share and when you're able to teach and share, that's where you learn the most.
correct.
Because you have the best grasp of the concept, and you revisit your previous thoughts, and then you examine them again, you re-examine them, and then able to verbalize them out and share again is where we benefit the most.
Yeah.
Right? Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Amanda.
much.
Thank you so much. This has been, I think, more interesting than the first one. Yeah, more interesting than the
You
first
will
one.
only get more and more interesting and more exciting as you face your, your next guest and all.
Yeah, I definitely want to share this episode with Jermaine and then get him to, hey, go and make sure you have two kids or more.
Yeah. I mean, he has you as his mentor, so he should be more confident.
We'll see. Thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Benny.
So, maybe any last words for our listeners?
Wow, I think let me share this last story.
Sure, please.
During the family forum, my boys were given, you know what is pipe cleaners? They were given about 10 of them. Okay, and then this family forum I must share with you is I attended a family forum. So it's a workshop where they find a few families
Okay.
and they run a family forum style.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
And so they were given the pipe cleaners as the last activity.
Okay.
Okay, and they were supposed to use the pipe cleaners to form a family symbol together.
Wow.
Okay, so a family of 5, like for you, a family of 6 will have to sit down and discuss and do a family symbol, like a logo or a symbol, using 6 or to 10 pipe cleaners. And then many of the family did heart shape, chain, because you're supposed to go out and explain what does this symbol mean. And my boys, they did 2-person fighting, but the legs are tied. So I wonder
The legs
why.
are tied. 2%.
I wonder why, right?
Okay.
So then my boys were asked to explain. He said, we sometimes tease each other and we make fun of each other. But deep down inside, as you can see, our feet are tied together. We actually love each other.
Oh my god, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, oh wow. So sweet. Oh my god.
So that little family symbol is now like
Frame it up, man.
It's now in my room.
Wow.
Kids are a lot deeper than we thought. So what we can do is just to be more intentional in encouraging that deep connection that they long for to emerge, right? Through things like carving out a time, through family forum. But if that's too intense, you know, you would have your style. But do it in a way that they could express it and trust them. It's actually in them. You know, I also read that children are programmed to love their parents. So parents, be confident. You are very much loved. They might not know how to tell you. They might be too shy to tell you, but they truly love you. That's for sure. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful story to end our episode today. My God, Amanda, that's awesome. Thank you once again for this wonderful sharing. And I think we can only learn. And I'm going to re-listen. I don't think I've listened to any of my podcasts before. I just record and then just publish. But this one is so useful. It has real life examples. It has actual concepts based on books and theories. And then you actually put them into actions. I think it's very, very inspirational. I think it's one of the more encouraging podcasts that I've done. Thank you so much.
We all try our best.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye. Nice, perfect. Oh wow, thank you so much. Okay, I'll immediately send you the link once it's up.
Yay! Yeah, I'm still very thankful that you're really doing this.
I just find that this is I think that we are very aligned in the sense that nobody teaches us on relationship management and parenting. That's why there's a has that been, I wanted to ask you, but I was not very sure if you were comfortable sharing in a public forum. That was it also your experience in going through the divorce and having a second relationship that you also come to realize the importance of all these managing relationships? Nice! I can't wait! I will fix a date with you again. I'm gonna pick your brain again.
Let your listener have a breather first.